What's up, YouTube? Back at you again with another video. Today we're doing Sunday dinner. We're going to be cooking.
Well, for side, we are making greens, and I'll be kind of just going through how I make them. Of course, I'm not a professional chef, but I'll just show you what I like to do, and we like them, and maybe you guys will like them too if you try it. And what are you making, babe?
I'm doing Cornish hens on the grill. So I'm going to do Cornish hens. She's in charge of the side, so we're going to do Cornish hens. We were going to do chicken. Kind of tired of chicken. Cornish hen is chicken. We're tired of chicken wings, I would say. Yeah, we're tired of chicken wings. So I'm going to do Cornish hens on the grill, something I've never done before. She's going to do collard greens. We're going to add smoked turkey necks into the collard greens because everybody doesn't eat pork. We have our butter, we have our garlic, and our onions, and we have kale greens, and we have collard greens. And I'm gonna be using black pepper, chicken broth, Goya, salad and vegetable seasoning. Are we gonna do corn or are we gonna do rice?
Let's just do rice. We have the greens, so
okay.
That's enough of a vegetable.
Okay. All right.
So I'll get started with the greens. I've already heated up the pan or the pot, so it should be pretty hot now. So I'm just starting out with melting some butter. So I'm about to put the neck bones into the pan first.
How many neck bones are you using?
I'll probably just use 2. They're pretty big.
Okay. You wash them off, or do you just put them in there? Now I got you. I mean, I wash all my meat besides like, especially with coronavirus going on. Besides like ground beef, that's probably like the only thing I don't wash.
Well, I'll wash them off today. I usually do not. I never thought about washing them off, but I guess it won't hurt. They're cooked already anyway. So really we're just heating them up and making them more tender.
Okay.
So my butter's pretty much melted, and I just want to spread it around the bottom so we can start just really getting some color on the neck bones. Again, they're already cooked, so they just add some flavor to the greens once they're cooked. And before we add anything else, I'll just add a little pepper. We like to do the cracked peppercorn, but of course, if you just have regular ground pepper, you can use that too.
What we use for years in the hood.
Apparently, the cracked peppercorn has more flavor, so we started to use this. So that's probably enough. We can season a little later. So again, it's already starting to sizzle. So while that is in there, I'm going to go ahead and add my onions and garlic. And I've already chopped these up. Just a rough chop. They're going to break down anyway once they're cooking. So you don't have to be fancy with the chops, of course. And this is just one small white onion. And then this is about 2 cloves of garlic that I minced up. I'm putting that in there too.
Can you use fresh garlic or can you use minced garlic too?
We have both. I decided because we already had some fresh garlic cloves that I would use that. But usually for ease, I get the little container of garlic that's already minced up, and that's pretty easy.
If you had to guess, like how long would you say it takes to cook greens?
So the thing about cooking greens is that the pot really does most of the work for you. So once we've done this initial part, we really just leave greens alone to let it do their thing and get soft and let the turkey neck bones tender up. So,
all right, okay. Well, that's a good question. I got a good question for you. So since you've been cooking greens, or since you cook greens, would you recommend a Instapot or just regular conventional pot on the stove?
I would just put it on the stove. Instapot, I mean, the point of the Instapot is to cook it faster. Greens really, they take just about 30 to 40 minutes to cook anyway, so it's not going to save you that much time. onions are just starting to, I think, sweat is what they call it. So they're just starting to get a little bit of color, and we can start smelling the onions and the garlic cooking. So at this time, I am going to start by putting some of the greens in, because they have to start getting smaller so that they'll all be able to fit in the pot. And right now it doesn't look like they will, but I promise you they'll all fit in this one pot. They cook down really small. So I put about half of the collard greens in. Also to mention, I've already cleaned the greens and trimmed them.
Yeah, just to kind of try to save some time for the video. How much chicken broth are you gonna put in there?
It probably.
And why use chicken broth? Can you use any other broth, or is that just preference or your preference, or?
Yeah, the chicken broth is definitely just a preference. Some people usually use pork, neck bones and things like that in their greens, but we are more of a poultry family, so I use the chicken broth instead of just water to give it more flavor. Alright, so I'm going to start by putting some of the Goya salad and vegetable seasoning. This is something my mom told me about. It tastes really good. It's not probably anything traditional, but it gives the greens a lot of good flavor. So I'm going to start off by adding 2 packs of this into the greens and just kind of spread it around there.
Like chicken seasoning from noodles.
It does. It does look like the seasoning, but I promise you it adds a lot of flavor. And I can already start to, most of what I cook, I just eyeball everything. I can pretty much already see I don't have enough liquid in my greens already, even though they are starting to cook down. So once I put some more of these greens in, I'm also going to add some more broth to it. And again, I'm going to add some more broth to the pot, just because I know it needs some. Oh, you didn't ask me what the stove is on. Right now the stove is on a heat of about, it's 7 on our stove, so I would assume that's probably
medium high.
A medium high heat. Yeah, I was going to say it. And right now what I'm doing is just tossing everything, making sure that seasoning that we put in is in there and touching all the greens, and also just making sure that all of the greens that I've put in so far are getting moist. And then remember, we still have those neck bones and the onions and garlic down at the bottom too. So I'm also doing just an initial spin. Thanks, babe. Just an initial little spin to make sure that everything's getting mixed up. So.
Alright, well, we're going to take a break. We're going to let the collards cook down some. And then I guess when we come back, we'll add the kale, right?
Yeah, we'll probably add some more seasoning and then get the kale in here and then do a final little turn so that everything will fit in. And then we'll be all finished and just let it sit.
Alright, so we will be back shortly.
Alright, so just about 10 minutes have passed. And you can see the collard greens have cooked down a lot. So now I have space to add in my kale. So now the kale is going in. And most likely I'll add some more chicken broth too. After I stir it, I'll see how much we need. And you don't have to use 2 different types of greens. You can just use all collards or all kale, whatever your preference is. We like both, so we just decide to mix it when we make it. Kale takes up a lot more space, so I'll probably have to wait till this cooks down before I can fit the rest in. But while I'm here, I'll go ahead and add 2 more packs of my salad and vegetable seasoning.
Is that it for the seasoning?
Yeah, that's it for the seasoning. That's really all I do. I like to cook my greens so that they have a good flavor, and then if you want to add your own extra spices in them, you can add that to your personal plate. Everybody doesn't like spicy greens. Everybody doesn't like vinegar in their greens. So I kind of keep the base of the greens just well seasoned, and then you can add whatever else you want to add. Plus Aiden doesn't like spicy things, stuff like that. So it's better to keep it like this.
And one thing that we do in this house is we like to kind of clean as we go, because we don't like having all those dishes at the end. So like while we were taking a break, I washed some dishes down too, because I just hate it's overwhelming, especially like if you eat dinner late and then happen to put dinner away and wash dishes. It's a little bit overwhelming sometimes. So all right.
So I fit the rest of the kale in, and I'm just going to top it off with some more chicken broth. And also the chicken broth, the one we got is fat-free. You don't have to do that either. You can have all the fat in your broth that you want. Just a choice that we made. At this point, we kind of just wait. So the greens will do cooking for another about 40 minutes probably. Just boiling down, getting all the seasoning, and then those turkey neck bones are going to get nice and tender and fall off the bone. Every few minutes I check on them just to make sure that I'm stirring everything around, making sure that everything is cooking down well. But that's pretty much it. At this point, you just put the lid on, leave it, check it every few minutes, and there you go.
I'll probably take a little break right quick, and I'm going to start getting these Cornish hens ready to be seasoned, clean, and I'm going to throw them on the grill. So we'll be right back. All right, we're back. So now we're going to season our Cornish hens. So speed up the process a little bit. I cleaned them. I butterflied them down the middle. I rinsed them off. We're going to be using garlic salt, onion powder. I have smokehouse maple seasoning by Grill Mates. I have mesquite seasoning, and I have barbecue seasoning. Yeah, mesquite. Mm-hmm. And I have brown sugar. So usually I like to put brown sugar on the thing when I'm barbecuing stuff, because it gives it like a glaze that we like, a certain type of texture. Like, one of the main things I like doing is I try not to like cross-contaminate things. Like, I try to touch the meat with one hand and just touch the seasoning with the other hand. Like, I watch a lot of videos, and like I see a lot of people like cross-contaminate, and it really makes me cringe sometimes watching those videos. I already heated my grill up, guys. I use match light, and I use like half and half. I use like match light, and I use just the regular charcoal, the one that you have to add lighter fluid to. I'm trying not to cross-contaminate, so I'm only going to touch the meat with this hand, and I'm going to touch all the seasoning with this hand. So I like to go just in order. I'm going to kind of go heavy on the seasoning a little bit, because I think they say like usually like when you're cooking, like don't you like lose most of the seasoning like once it hits the heat?
Yeah, probably especially on the barbecue too, right?
Yeah. The heavy dosing. And once I hit everything with the mesquite, I probably won't use this again. So I'm gonna go in order. So that was mesquite. This is barbecue.
And do you season both sides?
With this, I'm just seasoning. I mean, because honestly, that's why I butterflied it. So, I mean, I'm not seasoning the inside.
Okay.
That's the barbecue. This is more like flakes. So. If I had to compare it to something, this one, it smells really good too. Wish they had smell-o-vision. If I had to compare like that maple one to something, it would be like what's that red? What's that? The red what? Peppers? What is it?
Oh, red pepper flakes.
Yeah, red pepper flakes.
So,
yeah.
You gotta see they're big.
So
now you're doing the onion powder. Okay.
Garlic salt. Not too heavy. Not too heavy.
Yeah, that was one of the things I didn't mention in our video with the greens, is that we try not to use too much salt on everything. I know the greens already is going to have a good amount because of the neck bones, and we didn't put any additional besides the garlic salt on the Cornish hens either.
So just rubbing this bad boy in place. That's all. I just like it because it gives it sort of a glaze. It gives it that texture that I like, because one thing about me, I hate slimy chicken. So might as well use it all. I haven't touched it, right?
Yeah, that's what I put in the bowl.
And so now I'm gonna wash my hands, and when I come back, I'll be throwing the chicken on the grill. All right, so now we're back. My grill is heated up. Definitely what you want your coals hot. You definitely want your coals hot, so you want them white. So see how they're nice and white. So I'll probably just grab them. And I'm gonna put them the cut side down to try to like cook it through, and then I'll flip it over once it cooks through some to give it like that crispy spin.
Okay. And so, babe, why do we have a charcoal grill? Doesn't that usually take longer to cook?
I mean, I just like charcoal flavor. I'm really not a big fan of propane grills. I mean, I just grew up on charcoal, so
Yeah.
that's why I use charcoal.
So this takes a little bit longer, but the taste is better.
Yeah, the taste is definitely better. That flame is definitely rising, and it's cooking that chicken on the bottom side. So we'll come back when we come back. I'll show you me flipping the chicken and show you like what the texture looks like. So we'll be back.
All right, so it has been about 20 minutes, and you can see the greens have cooked all the way down. I've also decreased the heat to about a medium, because right now the only thing that we really need to do, or that's left, is just to get the neck bones nice and tender so they can start falling off the bone.
I mean, I guess if you wanted to, you could add more greens, technically, because we only did, what, 2 bags? That was just 2 of the store-bought bags of greens.
Yeah, we don't like leftovers too much, so we try not to get too much food. So the pot definitely can fit more greens. We only did 1 bag of the collard and then 1 bag of the kale, but like you see, you definitely could have fit some more in.
Yeah,
so,
if we wanted to.
Yeah.
So the greens are done. We're basically just waiting for the turkey necks to get tender.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. The greens are done at this point, and I'm just going to put the top back on and keep watching it for the next probably about 20 minutes.
Alright, we're back. As you can see, like I said, I turned my Cornish hens down. I turned them flat. So now I'm going to flip them over and let the opposite side cook. They got a nice flavor, and I'm big on like texture. So maybe what I might do is like, so they don't dry out, I'll probably go get like some type of glaze to like base on them. So I'll be right back, and I'll let these cook on this side for a little bit on the top side, and when I'll come back, like I'll like base them with a glaze. So I'll be right back. All right, as you can see, we're back. My temperature is currently about 400 degrees right now. Ooh, look at that chicken. Look at them Cornish hens. Ooh, too juicy. Yes, sir. And a nice texture that I want, sir. Like Ouch. Don't mind me. She's doing what she does best, baby. She wide open. I mean, as far as like skin wise, I like it crispy. We gotta cook a little bit longer. So like what I'll probably do, since the fire is so hot, I'll put it like indirectly on the heat so it doesn't really burn as much. Like how this one did right there. You see that kind of like burn the skin off. So I'm gonna put it on like indirectly on the heat. So I'll let this go. I'll let this chicken go, guys, for probably another 15-20 minutes or so. But what I'm gonna do right now, I just got some barbecue sauce. I was going to try to find a sauce, and I just put a little bit of brown sugar in here. And I'll just give it like a, I'll give it like a light glaze too. I guess, guys, what we'll do is we'll let this keep cooking, and I'll come back when it's done. Okay, so what are you cooking now?
So, since we didn't really prepare for a side dish, I'm just gonna make some rice, give it a little bit of seasoning, cook it in the chicken broth since we have some extra. And so right now what I'm doing is just preparing some onions and seasoning it a little bit, and then I'm gonna put the chicken broth and the rice in. So we had brown rice. So I already measured out 2 cups of brown rice. And this was just 1 little small onion. And again, like I said, we're using just the rest of our chicken broth that we already had. So onions are pretty much doing what they're supposed to do. Cooking down with a little bit of fresh cracked pepper and just some garlic salt that I added to it. So now I'm going to measure out 2 cups of the chicken broth. Hope I have enough. And then bring this to a boil. Once this is boiling in, then I'm going to add the rice. And then just pretty much let it cook.
I guess we're waiting for the broth to come to a boil, and then we'll add the rice.
Yep.
All right, guys, this is the finished product. This is my chicken. A little crispy. Some pieces are a little crispy. This actually is the one that had barbecue sauce. This one and this one, I cooked this one face down a little bit longer. Because like I said, I'm big on Texas. So we're gonna be plating, and we're gonna give it a taste test. So we'll be right back. All right, so chicken's done. Greens are done, and the rice is done.
Just cut a little piece off. Is this a piece with barbecue sauce?
That piece, yes, that piece has a little barbecue sauce on it.
Okay. So looks pretty moist. Nice little grill marks. A little burnt there, but that's probably just the sauce, so that's okay.
Sauce.
That's good. Tastes like chicken. I'll try the rice. Rice is good. Got a lot of flavor from the butter and the onions, so really good. Now let's try my specialty, my greens. Make sure I get a little piece. Yeah, nice and seasoned.
So you give what do you give dinner?
I'll give dinner today. It took a lot of effort, so I'll definitely give it I'll give it an 8 because it kind of took a lot of effort to make everything, but it's very good.
It all came together.
All came together.
All right, I'm going to start with the sides. We know that's we say that's the best for last. So I'm going to try some greens. I'm really not too big on greens, by the way.
Why'd you want me to make them?
Oh no, they're good. I like that Goya seasoning. It's not too salty.
Exactly, it adds flavor without adding the salt. That's why I like it.
Definitely
The rice, simple, but has flavor.
Simple. Simple, healthy brown rice. Definitely. Yeah, I like it. I like brown rice better than white rice too. And then,
all right.
The main ingredient. Wow, let's take a little piece right there. I'm more of a white meat man myself. Yeah.
How's it taste?
That chicken good. Definitely good. Like I said, I'm big on skin. I'm going back for seconds. On the skin, definitely.
Yeah.
It's hot.
It's a good texture.
Yeah, definitely good texture.
The grill gave it really good flavor and texture. And it
just
stayed
tastes like
moist,
yeah,
too.
it's moist, and it just tastes like regular barbecue chicken, you know. Nothing too fancy, but definitely good. I give dinner a 9. If I would give dinner a 10, if we would have spiced up the rice like a little bit more with like a little bit of color, maybe like some peppers or something. But definitely give it a 9. It's definitely good. So maybe you can try this at home. Just our little simple rendition of our Sunday dinner. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn post notifications on, and we'll see you in the next video.